Well, hello there, and welcome back to Mr. E's Mysteries and Magics. Faith and be good, it is the great saint's birthday, don't you know? So, I will be doing, as promised, the three-card Monte routine that I created for this particular day. I did not create the mechanics of this particular routine, but I did create the presentation just to be clear on that. So, anyway, what I do is I have my little packet trick wallet thingy here that, of course, I purchased at RP Magic Shop, if you didn't know already. Check out the link to their website below. You can pick up something like this or all kinds of nifty doodle stuff that magicians would love to use. So check them out if you would, please. Okay, so what I do is I walk into wherever it is I'm going to do this particular routine and open up my little wallet, take out the cards I'm going to use for the presentation, put that aside, and put the wallet away. Now, of course, today is St. Patrick's Day, and this reminds me of something that happened to me many, many years ago on St. Patrick's Day. I was walking through the woods, and I happened to see three very small gentlemen in the woods as well. And I watched them for a bit, and I said, you know, they have got to be leprechauns. And the reason I know that is because they are all wearing green clothes. All three of them. And I said to myself, that is really great. Because if you can catch a leprechaun, you're entitled to his pot of gold. And as I watched him carefully, I realized one of them was dressed a little bit differently from the others because he was none other than the king of leprechauns. So I started to talk to them in a very friendly manner, sneaking up very carefully because I knew that if anybody had the largest pot of gold in the world, it would be the king of the leprechauns. And as I got closer, I took a sudden lunge at the king of leprechauns. But leprechauns are wee people, and they're very quick. And he ran in between his two friends. And they blocked my way. I couldn't get to him. I wasn't about to be stopped. I continued to get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And remember, leprechauns are indeed wee people. So I reached over and pushed aside the first leprechaun and made another lunge for the king of leprechauns. And he simply ran behind everybody else and ran to the back. I said, well, this is not going to work. So I just kind of slowly made my way around the second leprechaun and made another lunge for the king of the leprechauns. But of course, he simply ran back in between his two friends. And they created a little roadblock for me. I couldn't get through to the king of leprechauns. So I said to myself, self, I'll bet that you are not even leprechauns. And the king of the leprechauns, now he's being real suspicious. So he slid himself behind his two friends. And he said to me, well, of course we're leprechauns. Who else wears clothes like this, eh? And I said, yeah, you've got a point there. And I just want one more little bit of proof. If you're the king of leprechauns, you must have a pot of gold. And he says, oh, do I ever? And he showed me his pot of gold. And I said to myself, well, now we're getting someplace. So I snuck up very, very carefully to the pot of gold. And as I was pretending to look at the gold, I made another lunge for the king of the leprechauns. And sure enough, I caught him. And I said, now you have to give me your pot of gold, O king of the leprechauns. And he said, I don't have to give you anything because I am not the king of the leprechauns. The king of the leprechauns is over here, and you have grabbed one of his friends who changed his clothes magically to look like the king. And off they ran on. I was so shocked I let them all go. They disappeared, and I never saw them again. I never saw another bit of that pot of gold. And that's my story of the three leprechauns on St. Patrick's Day and the pot of gold I was never able to capture. Now that's the routine. I hope you liked it, and let me tell you, it is a fun thing to do. People love that story on St. Patrick's Day. And why wouldn't I? I've been sitting in a bar for 18 and a half hours drinking green beer. So, yeah, I'd have gone to Baffle them there, boyo, when you give them this routine. They will love it. Leave them baffled, my friends.